Alright, so it is a few days down the road. I got some random parts. Those are mainly air compressor parts, but what I did get was a new distributor, which I've already gone ahead and thrown on there. Made sure it was on the right spot. It was on number 2 on this guy, so I put it on number 2 on that guy. Got some brand new spark plugs here and a new O2 sensor, because why not? The other one's been about a year. It's only like 14 bucks. Might as well. But right now I'm trying to find the spark plug gap somewhere in here. I'll find it. Well, that's interesting. It says C section 23 for type. And gap, it says 1.0 to 1.1. That is for my D16 Z6. Well, it doesn't say specifically Z6, but it's applicable. So there we go. Spark plugs. So it is not listed under electrical here. I don't know. I thought I had it for a second because it said signal parking and my brain went to sparking. But nope. Alright, well I can't. I'm just curious as to what it says about spark plugs anyways. But now that I know that I got my gap, I like to use both. I like to use this one to form the gap, and I like to use this one to measure it. This one's easy because it's slanted, so you just slip it on and you just curl it up until you get to where you want it. It's got a bit of a ramp to it. So you can just kind of wedge it up until you get to where you need it. Back over here it says 0.39 to 0.043. Looks like we're going to have a nice big gap there. So I think I'm going to shoot just for 0.040, maybe 041. I got new plugs in, tightened down. Right now I'm just pulling out this old O2 sensor. See what kind of condition it's in. Oof. I'm running rich, my friends. But I always knew that, so. Alright, time to throw this guy in there. Alright. Let's see. New Dizzy. I just got it kind of loosely on there, just to see if it'll start so I can time it. New spark plugs. Let's see. New alternator. New O2 sensor. All new cleaned grounds, with the exception of that one, which is fine. I might have an issue with the ground here on top of the alternator, but I don't think that's it. And also, it doesn't really look like that plugs all the way in. Well, it doesn't really seem to want to come out, so I think it's clipped in, but it doesn't want to go in any further, so I think that's that. I think I am going to go ahead, try and start it. Might as well. So the charger on start back here and see if we can't create a miracle. Start. If this doesn't do it, I'm completely at a loss. Let me double check I got my fuel wired. Alright, gas is wired. Come on, baby, please. Oh, she doesn't have enough battery. We'll give it a little more time on the old juicer. Yeah, she needs battery. Alright, it's been about half an hour. I've been putzing around with some air hose stuff, making little contraptions and whatnot, getting ready for the compressor. Here, I'll go throw this guy on start. Should have plenty of battery by now. No, I don't need to pop the trunk. Start. Say a little prayer. And the fuel pump is off. That wouldn't matter. No, ain't doing shit. Alright, so I just took the alternator bolt out and then realized that it's just plastic under there. So put the original bolt back on, put the thing back on, put it back on. And then I took a minute and I was kind of just like, what could it possibly be? And I was going through and then I glanced over and I saw, you can see it from there. That is my battery fuse, 60 or 50 amp, 52 volt. I think that's what's keeping me from starting, because that is my power to my alternator and my power coming from the car. Sorry. Power coming from the car. You can see my little junction box back there moving. And this guy goes to where does that fucking go? The alternator power. So swap this guy out, see what that does. Do I have 50 amp volt, 50 amp fuses? Yes, of course I have 50 amp fuses. I have 40 amps, 50 amps, and a whole shitload of little ones. But fortunately my problem lies not with the amperage, but with the paddle length. Looks like I'm going to the hardware store, if they even have this. Alright, so they didn't have any fuses like this down at the hardware store. So it's going to throw this 50 amp in there as opposed to the 60 amp. But I don't have a I don't have a long one. See, the bolt holes don't line up when it goes in. So I was gonna put some paddles on it, clipped them off the old dead one. And I didn't have that one. But then it occurred to me that I had this other fuse box. I opened it up and of course that one's gone. But there was a long 50 in here. So I'm gonna pop that in there and see if the car will start. Maybe. Well, that didn't do shit. Didn't blow it though. Definitely didn't hurt. It didn't help either, so alright. So I resorted to this, and you can see the white mark right there is dead on to the little angled nipple thing, and then you can see I'm way off down there. So this thing did jump a tooth or two. So I'm gonna go ahead and loosen up that tensioner, try and get that belt back on in appropriate fashion. Well, I believe I'm all put back together. Grounds are on, covers are on, everything's tight. Let's give it a try. Oh, the old maybe. It ain't the timing. I really don't know what the fuck it is. That sounded really weird. Checking the lights. Nothing. Seems to be cranking over faster. Let there be light. Alright, so I was thinking last night about why it won't start and why I believe it to be the timing. I went back and I looked at, as I was tightening it up last night, the camshaft bolt was pretty fucking loose. So I'm thinking what happened was when I tightened it all down and I brought it back to counterclockwise, the timing belt a little bit, I think I might have loosened that nut, and I think that might have been what that popping noise was it jumping after it got loosened. So, and then that would have killed the car immediately, which makes sense because of how loose that was. So, I went back and I looked at the end of the video of the one that I've yet to upload to where I timed it perfectly and got it started, and then that happened. So I'm just going to work on trying to get it timed up to the way I had it in my last video, which is where I got it to start. So hopefully, yeah. Alright, got this shit all off. You can see down there, I got it marked to where I had that. I put that second mark on there with the paint pen. So that's the one that in the video I timed it to perfectly. You can see I'm a little bit off there. Probably just the tooth, but that might be enough to make it do it. So off and back on. Alright, got it back on. That is pretty damn dead on. And then down there, looks like pretty darn good. It's a little, just a hair to the left of where I'd want it to be. But considering, it's pretty darn good. That's a lot of slack on that. Oh my god. Of course I get the marks lined up, but the belt's all super slacky. Alright. Alright, it's all buttoned back up. Tightened down. I've done so many times right now, I don't even know if I'm missing anything. Look. Alright. This is the best shot at timing I've had so far, so. Come on, baby. A Christmas miracle. That's a negatory. Still not getting any check engine lights. Weird. Alright, so I just did a quick compression test on these guys. One cylinder at a time, obviously. This one hit like 90, 95. This one hit like 100. This one hit like 95, 100. This one hit like 115. So they're all kind of within 15% or whatever of each other, but not where I'd like it to be. Also, the battery's kind of dead. I haven't charged it all today. I have been cranking on this guy trying to figure it out, so I don't know. But looking down into these dudes, it's pretty evident that there's have gas. I don't know how well we'll be able to see here, but it is pretty shiny in there. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna focus on that one part, but it's definitely very wet down there. See, I've had spark plugs in and plugs on, so it's not. It's not like moisture in the air or anything. That's definitely wet. And it's fucking dirty. Which makes me really wonder if I'm getting oil in there from fucked up rings or bent crank. I don't know. At this point I'm not sure. But gotta figure something out. Alright, so as I was switching out the distributors, because I was like, well, it's not a spark issue, so I'm going to return this. As I pulled it out, I realized that this had come out of the new distributor and got bent way back around so that it wasn't touching that little guy right there at all, which means that there was no spark going to any of these. And that was after the timing belt quit on me. So maybe I didn't have spark. So as I was switching them out, so I made sure it was in there nice and good. So now I'm going to put the plugs back in, get the wires back on, and give it a shot. I doubt it, but it might. Alright, well, I reckon give it a shot, see if it was the distributor. Nope, was not. Damn it. Alright, so the plot really thickens here. As I was putting this back on, firing order has never changed. 1, 3, 4, 2, 1. So you'll see the position of the 3 here. That's where it's at. It is locked in there. You'll see as I pull it out. See how they're at kind of an angle like that? About like such. A little down to the left. It's going in. It fits in there just fine. But here's the thing. The pulley says that it's at top dead center on 1. So why is the firing order on 3? See if I can't get you in there a little closer. That's my wardrobe key for my camshaft. I have a feeling that fucker is just spinning in there. I'm gonna give it a shot. That's ridiculous. It should not be oval. Luckily, I have a whole nother camshaft for this thing. Pretty sure there's some metal shavings on the inside there. Yeah, look at that shit. Well, I did not expect to be breaking out this guy so soon. But alas, there she be. Alright, well, reality is set in. I remembered that I do not have my new head did not come with a woodruff key or a camshaft, so I get to order one. Somebody got a pile of shit for Christmas without a catalytic converter. Anyways, alright, well, guess I gotta order something. Alright, so I'm just buttoning this guy up. I think I probably have enough for a part 3 on this fiasco. The timing belt fiasco of aught. Whatever fucking year it is. 23, I think. Soon to be 24. It is Christmas Eve, and this is how I'm spending it. But I got my Christmas miracle. I had a feeling it had something to do with that. I said this morning when I was first recording this video that I had a feeling that jumped because it was loose. But I don't think it was because it was loose. I think it was because it did it to itself. But I think that chunking noise I heard, and then when it stopped, the very last time I had it running, that's why this thing's timing is all fucked up. Every time I turn it over, it's in a completely different spot. Good, clean fun. But in this process, I've managed to amass a plethora of wealth, a smorgasbord of topics. So I'm just quickly writing down a couple, and then I'm going to make an actual YouTube video for EF Civics and every possible reason why I wouldn't start. So I've started a list. This is a super quick list right here, but just a couple right off the top of my head, honestly. But it's time for some new hot cocoa. Got this guy all set up yesterday. I got some new parts from Amazon this morning. Got my reducers. I'm gonna spend a little time kind of cleaning up, doing a little reset. It's not too bad over here, with the exception of that. So I was just struggling to get this spring back on there. It's different size diameter post from the new one. Because when I bent it, sticking the other one on there. Anyways, couldn't get this guy on there. The only thing I could find that would fit in there, believe it or not, was a candy cane. It went like that. Felt the clip right on there. Good to go. Candy cane tool.